Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle show here on ABC. We get to bring on some of the most exciting guests from all over the world. Good friend of mine is joining us today from a remote part of Missouri. I'll let him tell you exactly where he's at in our little fun state of Missouri here. But we get to reach out all over the place. So with that, I'm going to bring on Curtis Harland, and I'll press the button here. And so with that, Curtis, welcome to the Your Little Castle show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Carter. How are you?
Well, I'm super excited to have you on here. Like I said, we do have the excitement to bring on experts from all walks of life, and somebody myself who enjoys investing and planning for my future and making sure that I can pay my bills as I get older and maybe not have to work the rest of my life. Somebody like yourself who's done an incredible job. I'm going to talk to us a little bit about the precious metals world.
Yep. Well, I haven't been an expert, but for very long. But I tell you what, when I seen what was going on in our country and in our economy, and started paying attention to really what they're doing to us is, they're devaluing the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar. And when you look at precious metals, who's acquiring them? It's a lot of the central banks and the wealthy people. And I wanted to tap into that, and I just was excited to start learning about it.
Well, it's an exciting place to be because it literally is like when you get into the world of metals, that's where all the wealth goes, right? People say if you want to hedge against any kind of worrying about being able to pay your bills, fiat money is not going to be worth anything. They say put it into gold, silver, and you're going to help us understand a little bit about that and why that's so important.
Yep. Well, one of the things I think when I started learning about the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar was an example that they showed back in 1965 that, 1 ounce of silver and 1 U.S. dollar had the same purchasing power. And I could have walked into anywhere and paid with either one of those at that time. But then if you look at those two items today, it takes almost 35, if not 40 times as much currency as it does as silver or gold. So, those are just some unbelievable things when you pay attention to that.
Well, absolutely. And I tell you, when it comes down to understanding all of this, it gets very confusing for the average person. And so that's why we wanted to bring somebody on that could talk to us with some real expertise. When did you decide to get into this, and why did you decide this was the path you wanted to go to help understand and be part of this investment world?
Well, it was probably back in 2018. I just knew I wasn't where I wanted to be financially, and I started looking around for different things to try and invest in. And I come across this opportunity, and it made sense to me. I didn't really know a lot about gold and silver, but I've slowly over the years learned about it and what it can do for not only yourself but your family for generations to come. And that's what's exciting to me.
Well, like I said, a super exciting place to be. We're excited to have an expert like yourself on to talk about this. I'm going to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors real quick, and then if you don't mind, we'll come back and you've got some information. We prepared a couple slides here to share with everybody here, and we'll let you share those, talk about those with everybody. Is that cool?
That sounds great.
All right. With that, everybody, I do want to give a quick shout out to, and there's slide number 1, but let's go over here and take a look at our slides we've got with regard to our information we have about our show. Carroll House Furniture, an incredible sponsor. We're so fortunate to have them as part of our program here, and a great sponsor. Brooke and his sister Amy really do a great job. And then, of course, USA Mortgage. The Flowers team, you can see they do an awesome job supporting us, and if it wasn't for them, I'm not sure this would happen. So we give a shout out to the Flowers team and our great sponsors with that. With that, we'll go back in here. I want to jump in and we'll go over here, and I'm going to turn it over to Curtis. Curtis on the screen. I'm going to pull it back up. There we are. We've got this presentation. You can see it kind of cut off behind me as I'm on the screen here, but in a second I'm going to press a button. It'll turn it all over to you, and I'd like you to talk to us a little about what we need to know about the precious metals that help us all make a nice little reserve for our livelihood, right?
Right. Well, like anybody, I'm just an average person out there, but I wanted to help my family. And, when I seen this opportunity, it really made sense to me. A lot of this information is put together by the Federal Reserve. When you look at that statistic, this was put together by the Federal Reserve back in 2017. So just looking at these numbers, they're probably, I know they're a lot higher today, but it said as of 2017, 44% of Americans could not cover a $400 emergency expense. And I know with inflation around us and everything that continues to rise in cost, those things are a lot higher. And, if we just look at just, fuel cost, I know my wife and I, we started paying attention to what we were spending on just groceries on the weekends. And it just seems like it's up about 20 to 30%. And, that's everybody across the board. If you look at inflation in general, I know one of the president had actually put out there that the average American inflation has cost them an average of $300 per month. And if you look at that statistic of 44%, I would say that it's probably pushing that 60 now, because just a lot of people are struggling. They're nervous about what's going to happen here, and not sure. And that's why I got into precious metals, because when I really looked at if you take just this $1 bill, this is what got me, and this ounce of silver. And if I would have walked into a Ford dealership in 1965, I could have bought a Ford Mustang, and it would have cost me $2,500. But today, if I had that 2,500 ounces of silver or 2,500 paper dollars, I'd be lucky with the paper dollars to buy the tires and rims on it. But with the 2,500 ounces of silver, I could buy 2 Ford Mustangs. That got my attention. And then if you look at an ounce of gold, I didn't really know this until I started studying precious metals, but on the back of this ounce of gold, it says $50. If I would take this into a bank, you know what they're going to give me for it? They're going to give me a $50 bill. Now, if you know what the value of 1 ounce of silver is today, you're going to see what I've seen is that, man, it's worth a lot more than that. And, I've just continued to learn about it and, try to acquire as much as I can when I can.
Well, yeah, like I said, as an expert like yourself who understands this, we're just excited to have you on here. You want me to switch to your next slide you got here?
Sure.
Okay. So with that, yeah, talk a little bit about this. This says prices increase 2000 to 2018. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, these are just looking at some of the average prices that people spend each month. A home cooked meal is up 43%. And, you look at water and utilities, and I'm even going to throw in heating and cooling right now, because it's that time of year when, the weather gets a little cooler and people want to stay warmer, and, that cost is going up. Well, all it's doing is costing your bottom line. And if you're not educated in precious metals and how to protect your family's wealth, you're eventually going to, get hurt. And I don't like people to get hurt. And that's why I try to share this as much as I can with people.
Yes, very, very good information there. And it's just amazing. Heating up 99%, Medicare 97%, eating out. Yeah, just exorbitant, some of these bills that are coming at people, that the cost has just gone up so dramatically. And wow, it's just a big difference in what people are having to pay out of pocket now for the same thing they were buying a few months ago or a couple of years ago. Let's go to your next slide here.
Yeah, and if you look at inflation, we're all fighting that right now. I know gas is down a little bit, but still, just inflation is costing the average American nearly $300 per month. And what I see in that is, if your income is not increasing that, you're falling behind. And a lot of people don't have choice. They either got to, get a second job, work more hours to try and do that. They're just, it's sad that we don't teach people about true wealth. And it's truly in sound money, what they call gold and silver.
Very well said. Well, let's jump ahead here. Talk about our purchasing power.
Yeah, Carter, when I look at this, it just makes me sad. But this is actually put together by the Federal Reserve and Labor Statistics. And, in 1913, when the U.S. dollar was created, it was backed by gold. And, President Nixon did something in 1971 that took our dollar off of the gold standard. And it not only turned the U.S. dollar into fiat money, but it turned all world currency into fiat money. And basically, which means it's just no longer backed by anything. And what it does is it just allows the feds to go out there and print as much printing from late 2019 into today. 80% of all the fiat currency that's in existence has been printed. And, that's a little scary for me because I know at some point, it may go away, and like it has in some of these other countries. And when that happens, you're not going to be able to buy the things that you bought. So it kind of scares me a little.
Yeah, well, I mean, just imagine the value you're losing for what you used to have. Wow, I got $1, I can buy this. And now we're seeing it incredibly with just going to dinner. You can't go to dinner now for less than $50-$60 a person. It used to be that for 15 or 20 or 25. So it seems like it's almost doubled, much less what they're saying here. So crazy. Well, let's jump to our next slide and tell me why.
Well, and that's the thing is, the secret of sound money is really, we're not taught about this in school. I wish we were. But when you look at who's acquiring all of the gold and silver out there, it's the large banking institutes, it's the financial institutes. They are hoarding it right now. And, there's so much talk that, we're going to go back to this type of gold-backed currency, or at least other countries are. Which has got me a little bit nervous. But when you look at that, it's flip to that next slide, Carter. I think this one shows that purchasing power of the gold and silver. And, in 1965, paper dollar, that's what we call currency. And sound money is what we call gold and silver. And flip to this next slide. If you look at the purchasing power in 1965, yeah, that's just got currency and sound money. Flip to the next. There you go. 1 ounce of gold in 1890 would have bought a Colt revolver. But in 2020, that same 1 ounce of gold will buy 2 Colt revolvers. And look at the car. The 2,500 ounces of silver would have bought a Ford Mustang. And then today, in 2020, it will buy 2 Ford Mustangs. But your paper money doesn't do that. It's because the purchase so much, and we haven't been taught about it, and that's why I want to share this with as many people as we can.
Well, like I said, valuable information for most people that don't realize that the value of their money is depreciating daily, just based on the fact that inflation has that kind of an impact and can greatly diminish that value, especially over time. And so, how do you combat this, Curtis? What would you say some of the best investments you can make, or what would be something you would recommend somebody consider that they could help to circumvent some of this?
Well, first, get yourself educated. There's a lot of things out there that you can learn about gold and silver. Give us a call. We will sit down with you and talk about some options out there. And here's the thing. Getting educated, I think, was one of the first things that really intrigued me about this, because there's a lot of different suppliers out there. When you look at purchasing gold and silver, especially when you go to online, there's a lot of fraud that's involved. And one of the things that we do here is we test every ounce that comes through our facility, and we're going to guarantee that it's real, it's backed, it's been tested, and it's there's no fraud in there. Because anytime when you deal with sound money, there's so much online fraud today, and it scares me when you think that you're getting a good deal, but really you're not. And that's why we just got to give people this education.
Well, that's key to it. We've got a couple more slides up here, at least I think, to talk about, and I want to make sure we cover everything. Tell me a little bit about why I should buy. Who should I trust? Tell me.
Yeah. That's the thing, because of all the scammers that are online trying to educate people. That's why I think that you should at least call us, because we're going to give you an honest opinion. If we're not the best price out there, and you can find it somewhere else, we're going to tell you to go buy it. Most companies out there won't do that. I know a lot of companies out there. If you you have a product that you're offering to somebody, and then they can go get it cheaper down the street, they're probably not going to tell you, hey, go get it cheaper down the street. But what we want to do for people is just educate them, give them the opportunity. We've developed a program basically where you can buy fractional amounts of gold and silver, and basically it can be held in a private vault. It's basically got 9 layers of security on it. It's protected by armed guards 24 hours a day. So, that's some exciting things. You don't really need to be an expert here. You just basically give us a call and we can tell you the next steps. And, we offer a membership that basically gives people access to this and multiple things.
Well, tell everybody a little bit, what's the benefit of the membership you offer, and what do they really get by working with you guys?
Yep. Well, one of the things they get is that education. We've got probably 2 hours of education that they can go through and learn about that. We've also got access to some of the best pricing on gold and silver. Currently, I know that we are the cheapest right now on Silver Eagles. Those of you that may be watching this, that if you know Silver Eagle prices, they usually have the highest premium. But right now, today, I know we were $10 cheaper than anybody else out there per ounce. So that was a pretty good savings for people. And then also, we've got a savings program too that basically is kind of like a Sam's Club or Costco's, that when you join us, you're going to get access to over 850,000 different retailers, and you can save on some of the things that you would be using every single day. And then, I didn't really know a lot about collectibles, but that's one of the things that I got really interested in. This is December, and since we're I want to remember those that actually fought for our country and died in Pearl Harbor on November the 7th. This is the 81st year anniversary, and we actually have one of the things that we do is we have a coin here that is kind of in memory of that. There is 1,077 of these. In December the 7th, when the USS Arizona was sunk, there were 1,077 sailors that were on that ship that are still encapsulated in that ship at Pearl Harbor. And basically, in this coin that we actually have here, there's actually a part of the ship that's represented here. But this is something that I believe in. There's people that fight for our freedom here, and I want to remember those guys. And there's a lot of things that some of us may agree with, some of us may disagree with, that I think's going on this country today. And I think we're forgetting some of that. And inside this membership, we got a lot of different ways that people can not only save but get access to sound money through gold and silver, and also get an education out there.
Yeah, and it seems that for most people, they're just like, I know I need to be invested in some kind of metal. I know I need to own some of this stuff, especially gold, silver, but I don't know where to start. So not only are you offering them the information, but you have the connection to provide it for them, because you guys are a vendor. You can allow people to make the purchase of their gold or silver through you guys at exceptional pricing that's going to beat or match or beat anything else they'll find out there. Is that true?
That's true. Yep. One of the things is our buyer certification. It's going to give you the information to give you a start when it goes to investing in precious metals. And then also we got our collector certification. There's, I forget what year it was, but Inc. magazine did a survey out there of wealthy people and what are the asset classes that they invest in. And 5 of those asset classes, we offer 4 of them. And I think that's neat when you're talking about usable precious metals, gold and silver. And when you talk about fine art, especially when you look at this coin here and you look at the detailing in it, it's really some unbelievable artwork. And the rarity of them, because of our membership, we offer exclusive coins to certain people out there. And once you get those, they're in your possession.
Well, it's an incredible value, such important information for people to have. And like I said, somebody like yourself, you can really help people is it true, to help them build this as a lifestyle somewhere. This could be something that helps them to provide for themselves on a daily basis. And if they invest properly and follow the path, you've got a program, a plan for them that can help them to do that. Is that true? Yep.
Yeah, Carter, when you start actually acquiring gold and silver and start learning the leverage that you can use gold and silver for, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life, and I've owned big companies, small companies, some that succeeded and some that haven't. And I remember back in 2004, we had a construction company where we traveled the whole state of Missouri doing road work. And, I thought we were living life large, and something happened in 2008 that affected our industry. I remember bidding a job when fuel cost was around, at least diesel was around $2. And when we bid that job, that was the price. We had about $250,000 estimated for the fuel costs. But when the job started happening, I think fuel cost was over $6 a gallon, and we went over 150,000 just on that one item. And I was never really taught about gold and silver. I just didn't know the power of it. And once you learn about it, how to use it as leverage, there's a lot of things that you can do with it.
Well, powerful stuff like we talked about. Tell me a little bit, if you will, what's the one thing that really sets you guys apart? If there's one thing that you say we do better than anybody that really gives us an advantage over anyone else, because there's other places people might be able to find to buy gold or silver, but nowhere are they going to be able to get some of the resources and access and pricing that you get. What do you think it is that really sets you guys apart?
I think there's a couple things. Our education program is one, but the second thing is giving people and the average person the ability to buy gold and silver through what we call a sound money wallet. This basically is a wallet that you own, you have access to. It's a private company out there that holds all the gold and silver and allows you to buy in fractional amounts. So if I don't have $2,000 to go out and buy an ounce of gold, I can buy $50 a week. I can buy $100 a week. Whatever my lifestyle will let me afford, I can go in there and buy it. What it does is it fractionalizes it until I accumulate a whole ounce. And then I have the option to leave it in that secure safe and vault, or I can have it mailed to me where if I want to hold it in my hand, I can. So those are two of the major things that separate us. And then just some of the other things that we offer to people. We just launched a healthcare program that, we connect somebody that maybe not have the healthcare they want and allow some discounts there. So there's another opportunity.
Awesome. Well said. What is it that gives you the most satisfaction for what you get to do to help people? When it comes down to it, it's got to be very satisfying. You're helping a lot of families plan for their future, provide for their family. What do you enjoy most? What is the satisfaction that you get most out of this?
Well, I think the big thing is just giving people a vehicle here that they can acquire wealth for their family. And this time of year when you go in the holiday season, there's a lot of families out there that are struggling to come up with money just to buy Christmas gifts, that may not have enough money to actually pay that utility bill. And, it's those people that we really want to try and help. And, I just feel good about offering this because we're really teaching people about sound money and getting out of that fiat system because, all we're doing is hurting ourselves when we handle that fiat money. And, not saying that gold and silver is the only way to go, but, it just feels good to be able to offer a valuable product to somebody. And here's something that got me, I can travel anywhere in the world and I can carry gold and silver with me, and people in that country know what it is. There's some countries that I travel to that won't take a US dollar. I've got to convert it into their currency and have whatever, but I can show them an ounce of gold or ounce of silver and they know what it is and they will accept it.
Very important stuff. Well, tell me, what is it you feel like you do to really help the community? If there's a real side of this that makes a difference in helping the community, give me a tangent, give me an angle for that really helps you to do what you do to make the world a better place.
Well, like I said, getting this time of year, there's a lot of people out there that don't really have the money, and it's always nice to be able to be anonymous, and to we've done some projects with food banks in the area that we just buy 100 turkeys or something and give them something that will help somebody that's in emergency need that just can get through that time.
Well, that's vital. That's very important. Well, I put the hat on because this is where we talk a little bit about hey, if you're making a difference, you're helping people. It's the Cardinal Cowboy and what we bring to the community. Hopefully, that lets a lot of people understand what you're doing to help make a difference on the planet. So that's where we really like to chime in and contribute with that. With that, I'm going to share with everybody. We're going to make you an honorary member of our community world championship. So I'm holding up the belt right now, if you can see that there, Curtis. But we'd like to make you a community leader for the Cardinal Cowboy belt. And because what you're doing is making a difference and helping a lot of people. So this I'll give you by proxy, as you can see here. And so tell everybody about how it is you feel cool about what you're doing to help the community, and we'll give you a virtual belt to put on your TV wall there or wherever or your computer wall, and talk about how, continue to make a difference.
All right. Well, Carter, first of all, I got to just say, kudos to you and everything that you're doing in the community. I know it's, businesses out there struggle when you're getting out there and making a difference, just like anybody is. And that's what we try to do here is just help people, help educate them. Some people see it, some people don't, and that's fine. But just being able to change people's lives makes a person feel good. And, I feel like we're making a difference in people's lives.
Well said. Tell us if there was one thing, or give us a little bit of the path. Say, I'm ready to work with you, Curtis. I think what you're doing is awesome. I want to be involved with you. Tell me, what are the steps that I would take so that I could actually get going and say, I want to do some investing, I want to do some metal, so I want to own some precious metals. What is the best way to get started with you to do that?
Well, first they can reach us by email, or they can also just call us direct. I think you got my number there. It's 660-349-9279. Feel free to call. We'll set an appointment with one of our advisors and basically sit down with you and kind of see what your needs are and what your wants are, and then kind of work through some things. And we'll give you some information to help you get educated. If it's something that you see that it may be able to work for you, great. We can move in the next step. But if not, hey, we just thank you for giving us a chance to share with you.
Well, that's key. What would somebody expect after they've signed up to be a part of your program here? Where does it go next? And they can say, all right, I've given you, let's say I handed you, I won't even say a number, but I've given you some financial contribution towards some ownership here. What should I expect?
Well, they're going to have access to gold and silver and really start seeing their portfolio change. I look at just the 3 years that, I've been learning about it, what it's done to me, and it's totally changed my portfolio around. And, I'm learning how to use what I've acquired as leverage. So it's fun to do that, and it's fun to be able to offer that to people.
Well, it's dynamite. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to give a shout out to Curtis. I've known Curtis. We've worked on a couple business ventures together as well. And it seems like you're always doing good to help others to be part of this little planet and to do what they need to make their lives better, to improve and to function out there. And precious metals, I know, boy, if I get down to it, I'm like, who do I call? Who can I trust? My buddy's Curtis Harland right here, specialist in precious metals. MyMetalPro.com, is that the easiest way, the website to find out more information?
Yeah, that'd be the easiest one, or just call us direct.
All right, everybody. That's Curtis. You've been watching the Your Little Castle show. Thanks. Stay tuned for more and get yourself some great information from Curtis. And we look forward to talking to you soon. All right, everybody. Giddy up.